Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is Mr. Dogboat333, and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4, the New Order, the real one as RK Ukraine. Now, in the last video, we're on the brink of revolution. And it's still coming along. It's about to happen. The people are whispering. And now all they can do is answer. It says we have breadbasket actions. But I'm confused as to whether or not we're still going to be able to do stuff or not. Who knows? Yesterday, contact with Altusbug and Hegelwald was lost. Despite our best efforts, it has not been reestablished, with only a few frenzied telegrams coming from various here garrisons stationed on the border, with the general government being delivered to Kiev. The General Kolmazar of the region has fled. His whereabouts are currently unknown. What we do know is fairly basic. Various UPA bandits have seized villages in the northwest and proclaimed a Ukrainian state. This declaration, which was broadcast on hijacked radios to much of Ukraine, was mostly a reiteration of the Banderite version from 1941, with a few references to the tyranny of Germany and the looming threat of Bolshevism. These new rebels have been exceptionally brutal to the scattered settlements and depleted here garrisons they have come across, slaughtering hundreds and sending thousands fleeing west through the embattled general government to a vain hope of safety in Germany, or east towards towards us and an uncertain future. Bandit military units seem to have been made up of hardened guerrillas who recently defected to Shuma. They lack major ordinances, but do contain enough manpower to pose a significant threat to our operations in the West. Defense operations by more organized tier units have yielded some successes in scattering probing attacks directly on our border, but by and large there's been no stopping on the advance. Local opinions on the matter seem to mix. Bolshevik presence in the area has always been sparse, but is large enough to provide something of a fifth column to the Banderites. Locals have never exactly taken kindly to the bandits, and have reacted by and large with apathy towards the recent uprisings. What few popular actions the Banderites have taken have been mere redistribution of land. The black and red flag flies once more. Dominoes stop. The revolts continue to spread, utterly overwhelming what loyal administrators still remain in Kiev. The latest was perhaps most horrifying for what it entailed regarding resistance and military potential. For now, both Brest and Podia had gone silent. When news of such arrived at the capital, those informed had responded with silent shock. Uprising in the east and south were terrible, yes, but they could be suppressed. In the west, however, all knew instantly that the severing of a train and road links to Germania meant reinforcements, if they were to come at all, would be blocked, supplies would be interdicted. And though nobody spoke the words, they all thought the same. That escape was now almost impossible. Worst of all, scattering reports that Olobin had actually defected to the bandits, taking both Brest itself at Rail Hub, crucial, beyond all measure, the local police with him. If such was true, the administrators knew, then how could the reliability of any other units be counted upon? What of their own guard, of the forces around Kiev itself? As reports became more clear and Ukraine continued to disintegrate, their thoughts grew only ever more desperate. What will they do to me? Is there truly no escape? I don't know, hopefully not. For you guys. Oh, we have free civilian factories now. Just build up some infrastructure, I guess. Yeah, this all is fucking imploding on itself, isn't it? British Civil War. Moscovians' dissolution. There we are. Pavlo cleared his throat, muttering a handful of mnemonics to assure he remembered the speech. He'd written it, so naturally he should, but it was still rough. The cracked old walls were a faded beige, and the evening light struggled to push through the gloomy mist clinging to the windows, rendering the room dull and gray. The room was quiet, as it should have been as a radio booth, but the energy was electric. The men around him grinned and quietly exchanged conversations, celebrating their victory while resting before the next. One of them was just beside him, fiddling with the radio. "Is it working yet?" asked Pablo, who was beginning to feel the chill of the old Lugansk building, not helped by the gunshot-broken window through which a draft escaped. "Trying, sir. We messed their equipment up good during the takeover. You can't fix that in a day." "It's been 3. We're live!" Bickering faded away in the face of pride and purpose. His memory of united victory led Pablo through his next words. "People of Ukraine, a new era is upon us. As many of you have surely heard, control of the Donbass, and as of the last few weeks, Kharkiv and Izium, has been lost by our occupiers. Communication has gone dark. Let there be no question now as to why they have lost. The revolution has come, and the Ukrainian Socialist Soviet Republic has been reborn here in Donbass. We hereby declare the U-SSR to be the legitimate and sole government of our homeland, and the revolution will continue until the fascists and traitors are driven out, as they have, from the Donbass and Kharkiv. The message will repeat until, taken down, our new information rears its head. Glory to the revolution. Recorded and repeated. The time is now. The revolution has begun." Oh man, it's happening. Oh god, it's happening. Alright, so let's take a look at everything we got. We actually got quite a bit to look at. So here's our leader, Alexander Shumsky. Quite a lot of nice little tidbits here. To the likes of a man such as Alexander Yakovlevich Shumsky, life is always an uphill battle. In every corner, there are those who opposed him. Those who opposed him would always stand in his way, and facing them was a lifelong uphill battle of ideals and ideologies, and that was not an easy one to climb. Unlike many others in his time, he was a man of action, not just words, and was sick of politicians and bureaucrats babbling about their ideal world. Shumsky was the only one, bold enough to turn his words into actions. For a Ukrainian boy born to a minor noble home, a dull future seemed suddenly inevitable. He studied the city of Moscow, and instead of finding life dull, he found the key to his future through revolutionary politics. Perhaps that is what pressured Shumsky into pursuing another life, or perhaps it was destiny for a man like Shumsky, and it would certainly seem to be something of destiny for any soldier or orator of such skill. Fortunately, for the people of Ukraine, Shumsky is both. Having fought the revolution against the whites and then against the Germans since they first stepped foot into Ukrainian soil, Alexander Shumsky has dedicated every moment of his life not only for the Ukrainian revolution, but for the Ukrainian people. Since his first clashes with Bukharin for Ukrainianization projects to be carried through, not to mention his constant pushes for Ukrainian Home Army, which have only been a blessing ever since, many regard Shumsky as the lion which saves not only Ukraine from total Russian or German domination, but the savior of Ukrainian culture. Of course, this position can only last for so long, before the Germans come back to tread on the Ukrainian soil once more. And they return to lock the chain around the collective Ukrainian neck. If anyone can put a stop to such a thing happening again, however, it is Alexander Shumsky. Let's take a look at our ideology real quick. National communism. When Karl Marx penned his fateful works, he imagined a global communist utopia where workers all over the world would be free, and where the oppression of nationalism would be distant memory. If that, this mantra was preached over and over again. Organizations like the various internationals grew and grew. The mission began to embrace the whole world order, in its mission. And it failed. Nikolai Bukharin championed the idea of socialism in one country when he led the Soviet Union, where a single socialist nation, the USSR, would focus on strengthening itself against reaction before liberating the world. And it failed. But internationalism was never the sole destiny of communism. Another wing had followed it. National communism, that had posed an answer to the question of national question. That communism was not the enemy of nationalism. That communism is true nationalism. is the key to liberation from the twin devils of imperialism and capitalism, who seek to suck nations dry and leave them for dead. National communists are as diverse as these different nations that host them, from Ukraine to Central Asia to Africa. Some support a loose union of communist states, others are more isolationist, yet they are all united by a common belief in national self-determination, communism, and anti-imperialism. For the oppressed, for the enslaved, for all those who suffer under the tyranny of imperialism and capitalism, national communism is a beacon of hope in a dark, cruel world, and unlike other communist experiments, it may just succeed. Alright, let's split up these guys. Half there. It's roughly you guys weren't selected. Yeah, okay. Field Marshal Sakar Ziluserkero. Probably butchered that. Where's our girl? There she is. Ludmila Pelchenko. We gotta get her in there. That's our girl. And then generals. Alexei Roman. Let's get him in. I'm gonna read the rest of these, don't worry, but I'm probably gonna wait until the war actually kicks off. There's a lot of reading we gotta do. If I'm not correct, I actually believe that all these are updated as soon as you liberate them. So that's actually that's incredibly cool. Well, let's start with vindicating the Long March. In spite of the Nazis' worst efforts to stamp out the Soviet Union, the heirs to the Bolshevik Revolution still survive. They return to see that their archenemy now reap the whirlwinds. The defining adventure of the KPU, the Long March, was a crucible no sane man should ever be forced to endure. Securing eastern Ukraine from the Wehrmacht control, brutal and chaotic as it was, will forever stand as a testament to the now renewed socialist republic. The people of the Dnieper have finally stood up, revolting against decades of unforgivable subjugation. If Ukraine now collapse into anarchy, we must act swiftly. Be it sweet victory or bitter defeat, the forces of the KPU remain steadfast for what comes as the revolution is reignited once more. How's this all gonna work? So we have cores on all this. Probably just read it like that for now. Free military factories. Working on rifles for now. Unpause it to update. Need more rifles. And then, what are we really gonna need? I'm gonna say we'll invest into artillery as well. So get working on basic pieces. Nothing too crazy, because we can't afford crazy, but as long as we can get something halfway decent going, we should be okay. And then, those guys there. These guys there. We're only gonna have to worry about so much, I think. Well, you're not assigned. Let's get you there. You don't seem to be assigned either. There we go. Trains in history of war. Interesting. Okay, so it sounds like they're going to be attacking. Okay, there's the Ukrainian state. And then the Republic is going to be stopping. They're popping up there. Okay. It was after the last bombs fell, after the guns finally went silent, the people of Kharkiv emerged from their homes from a colony unmade. They stood amidst the ruins of grand fascist edifices and broken monuments. Street vendors set up their wares on pockmarked streets, still bearing the names of dead and ignoble conquerors. Children played near a sagging, headless statue of Adolf Hitler downtown. Families sifted through the rubble for the ones they had lost. Ludmila Pavlichenko walked through the scenes, feeling a strange sense of peace. Yes, of course, many had died in the battle. Yes, of course, there had been awful losses. The theater had been razed on the ground. Streets remained littered with rubble. Still, there was hope here. From a sagging balcony, high above her, came the sound of voices. Long live the Union. Long live the free people of Ukraine. Scattered throughout the liberated city came other voices, making similar cheers. Even amongst the ruins, it was the sound of a city waking up after fighting off a long illness, after terrible injury. Ludmila listened to these voices for a moment. She slugged her rifle over her shoulder and smiled. While much work remained ahead, each day alive was its own success. A free Ukraine regains its strength. Ooh. Oh, let me check the economy real quick. We have a bit of a deficit. We have negative real growth. We have no GDP growth at all, even. Let's fully boost our economy, first up. Navy, I'm not worried about. Extremely high deficits, I'm sure. Okay, our credit is dog shit. We have literally nothing in GDP growth at all. It's only making things worse, really. And our poverty rate is not good. Like, not even, yeah. It's bad even for Eastern European standards, which is what we're kind of basing it all off on at the end of the day. Let's liberate the downtrodden. Start things off on. There's not an inch of earth left in Ukraine where the atrocities of the Nazis are invisible to us. From the road checkpoints to the weapons plants and the ever-endless rows of barbed wire fences, the victims of the Third Reich's twisted dreams in the breadbasket lay all around us, desperate for any chance to unleash hell on the Germans for their crimes against the people. This moment has finally arrived, and the men of the KPU are more than happy to indulge their countrymen in vengeance. No longer will the iron grip of fascism dictate their lives, but the combined strength of a united brotherly community. The rumbling of the factory lines shall roar across the plains, the cracks of our rifles sounding the end of Prussian domination. Okay, well, there's the war now. Oh Jesus, we just got a good amount of extra territory now. Okay, Jesus. Let's just do one big front line. Hold on. In the morning, I'm held by an old veteran, slumped against a shed, the last days of his life slitting away in a stream of vodka. At noon, I'm found by a young child, who brings me back home. I'm at shore, but I'm also the only fun to be found on land without playgrounds, where hide and seek is no longer a fun game. In the evening, I'm cradled in the hands of a mother. She denies herself even a ninth of warmth and light, so I will not go hungry. Gives me her last handkerchief to wipe my mouth. She hopes one day I will free her from such want. At midnight, a father tucks me in with my brothers. He assures me that someday soon, we will leave our home and bring our light to the world. What am I? I don't know, man. I'm not good with puzzles. We'll see if I'm going to be good with managing a revolution soon. Yeah. We will just have to go ahead and wait and see you next time. So I'm going to go and leave it there. Thanks for always watching, gang. Like this video if you liked, dislike if you didn't. Leave any comments, feedback down in the comment section below. I read all the comments I get, and I appreciate any little feedback you might have for me. Check out my various links down in the description box below. And yeah, I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.